Hello, welcome back. How's it going? And welcome on Facebook if that's where you're joining. Thank you for hanging out again. Who is here? Who is here in the chatmosphere? Am I looking at you? Does it feel like we're sitting across from each other, having a coffee or a tea? I'm working on it. Let's see who's here first. Michael or Michelle? Michelle Jensen. Welcome, Michelle. How are you doing today? You doing good? Good evening, and you're in South Florida. Welcome. Hope everything's going good in South Florida. Hey Juan, how you doing, Juan? What's up? Thank you for joining, Juan. It's always nice to see you in the chatmosphere. Jamie, you're here. I see. Welcome, Jamie. Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Another fun night. I hope it is fun. Okay, it'll be filled with a few different emotions, maybe, possibly. Check back with me and then let me know, Nancy, okay, if it was fun. Okay. And I see Molly Moose is here. Molly, well, hello, sis. What's up? Blessings to the chatmosphere. Very nice to have you, Molly. Lori, hey, Lori, nice to see you. Good evening, y'all. You love bees, do you? Have several thousand of your own? Very nice. That would be great to get some tips from you. You're a beekeeper as well. Hey, Lori, how are you? Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Lori. Welcome. Lori's new. Let's give Lori some love, unless it's a different avatar, because sometimes you all have different avatars and I don't recognize your name across the platforms. Thank you again if you're joining on Facebook. How you doing? I'll get to see you over there. Kenna. Oh, I see a Facebook thing. So Kenna, hey Kenna, I'm on Facebook. Good. Okay. I think it's now working where I can see the Facebook comments. That is really good. Welcome, Kenna. Oh my goodness. Let's give Kenna some love because Facebook comments are now coming across. That is cool. Lori, how are you, Lori Bean? Good. Hello from Lubbock, Texas. I finally caught it live. Let's welcome Lori from Lubbock, Texas. I love Texas, Lori. I've had great times in Texas. Hey, there's our beautiful Harlem Sentinel here in the chatmosphere. Thank you, Karen, for joining us. Mish threw some bees down there. Welcome, Mish. Very nice. Nancy is saying my her nickname is Bee Darling. How cute, because you love all things bees. Look at that. We have a lot of bee lovers. That is awesome. Okay, so I want to talk about bees and I want to talk about some other things when it comes to nursing, like caretaking, wellness, all the stuff that we talk about a life, a lot. Let's see, it's a bee life. Yes, it's a bee life. I hope it is. And I was talking to Girl Code, and I hope you all head over to check out her latest drop on the magic mushrooms and the connection to Christmas. It is like This video she just dropped, it is unreal how deep it is. I got a lot of really deep, connections and things. So she's talking about, mushrooms, and this whole conversation about, medicine, and just the power of, especially things that were kept from us. So if you're not subscribed to her channel, I would say please get over there and see this latest drop. It's amazing. Okay, it is everything. And we've been talking about medicine, from the standpoint of just what grows naturally, being an organic person. So quite naturally, we got onto the subject of bees, and bees are something that I really have a personal connection with, a very deep concern for bees and the health of our, ecosystem, and just what's been happening with the bees. Girl Code's here. Are you here? Yay! Girl Code, you're here. Oh, yay! So you made it. I'm glad. How you doing? Kenna is asking about any new news from Brunson. Okay, the Brunson brother update is that they rejected the case, hearing the case. So there are contingency plans. I don't know what they are right now. So we're all waiting to hear what is going on. And I have heard different things from, different people about their take on what's happening on a deeper level, like behind the scenes possibly, and what could be possible. So it's very interesting, and it's like an education every time. So I'm looking forward to learning more, and just law and everything. Okay, so I'll keep you posted as I know any developments. So I was talking to Girl Code today about the bees, and she taught me that bees were connected to nurses. Okay, so I was like, interesting. It's just always something with these connections, and it makes sense because you wonder, like, okay, why you have a certain path that you're on. And for those that are in the healthcare professions, I know that a lot of this speaks to you and other professions too, but because I was a nurse, I can relate more to that than anything. And I want to talk about how, in terms of trauma, a profession like nursing, especially in this day and age since 2020, there has been, like, I call it like a great divorce. And it's been the wheat and the chaff. The separation is deep. So with nursing, you're hearing about great turmoil when it comes to staffing. And staffing has been an issue for a while. It is actually unbelievable. In New York, they had about 7,000 nurses that were about to walk out and strike. So they're having a lot of problems. I've worked up in New York, so I can imagine what it's like for them. And I watched a lot of things that were deceptive happen up in New York City, especially the narrative about what was going on in the hospitals. I was trying to give my personal, I'm observing this and I'm listening to the narrative, and I was trying to share with people, like, hey, it may not be what CNN is saying. I'm telling you, you may want to consider that not just you, we are not being told the truth. And that was very concerning to me. So being that we had so many nurses, not so many, but they were scattered around, that walked out or got fired various different times with that. So nursing is one of those professions where I feel A lot of people that have certain personalities are drawn to the nursing profession. So when I think about the bees and the caring for the caretakers, I see a connection. And when Girl Code talked about bees and nurses, so just bear with me. I want to share a story with you about a nurse that I worked with. And this is just a story that I want to share as a cautionary tale for us that are considering and reconsidering that you have given so much of yourself to a job, to a identity, things that in the ultimate long run you wonder, okay, is this a reciprocated thing? You know, do you have that reciprocity? So when it comes to nurses and caretakers, there is little reciprocity. Now, up in New York City right now, they are talking about paying nurses more. And that's always been an issue. With the shortage of nurses, they feel that, oh, throw money at the issue. Now, money being thrown at a shortage, that doesn't make your practice safer. So, if a nurse right now is really excited about making a lot of money in this current like situation, a lot of younger nurses are just having fun right now. You know, they're taking travel assignments and, you know, making a lot of money. And they're even being allowed to go into critical care, where when I came out of nursing school, you could not go straight into critical care. You had to work on a med surg unit and build yourself into that capability, because critical care should not be something that you jump into right out of nursing school. And that's my opinion. Sorry, new nurses. This is what I've only been a nurse for over 33 years. So I have observed some things, and I think it's not a good idea to jump out of nursing school into critical care. Okay. So, and the American people will suffer for such things. Now they are starting to lower the threshold, the requirements for nursing. Okay. It's because of this shortage. Now, the shortage has been a shortage since the 80s, since the mid 80s. It has never been remedied. Okay. So just know nurses are already working in a shortage. So much so that I was asked to train nurses back in 2019. I was asked to help train Filipino nurses who were coming to work here in the United States. In return for their coming over, they were given visas, and they had to agree to be paid a lot less than American nurses, and they had to fulfill like a 3-year contract. So I got to see that these hospitals, in terms of labor, and the fact that they would rather get Filipino nurses to come here rather than figure out how to get more Americans into nursing schools. So it was already short. So now we're dealing with shortages that are even more extreme. And again, they feel like, let's give the nurses more money, and they won't complain, like that's the remedy for it. So it's extremely concerning, and a lot of nurses put up with it. It's a certain personality that nurses have, and they will sacrifice themselves because they are people pleasers a lot of times. And a lot of times they come from traumatic backgrounds of abuse and things like that. So they want to be people pleasers and take care of people. So I've observed that about my profession, or I'll say my formation. And I realize a lot of trauma gets piled on to nurses. So you go into it with trauma, PTSD for a lot of people. Then you pile on more trauma because you are seeing things that it's not a good idea to do this for a long period of time. You don't want to traumatize yourself for, I would say, if you're working in critical care, my opinion is a person shouldn't do critical care for more than 5 years. I believe, this was my opinion, like maybe 3 to 5 years, and take a break, maybe go and do a different kind of nursing, or go take like a sabbatical from nursing and do something different. Like, just know that sometimes it's not good to do years and years of working in a traumatic field. It's just my opinion. So you may have like a different opinion. You could share it. I'd love to see what you think about that. Molly Moose, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. You said no MSN. That's right. No MSN. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'll get to the comments. I'm gonna jump over into the comments. So I just want to like get some things out, okay? Before, like, just get this out. Okay. I know I spend so much time on these lives, but thank you if you're here and you like to hang out for a while. 1 minute. So I was realizing through talking with Girl Code about healing and remedies and natural things that we have not learned about because it's been suppressed. And that's the thing, that we know many good things have been suppressed. And when it comes to healing traumas, I wanted to just let you know that Girl Code has really opened up a big, it's been amazing what she has tapped. And it's going to lead to a lot of us learning things together and just having a conversation where we can consider possibilities that we might not have known about when it comes to natural healing, especially of traumas. And that's a big thing for us. So I want to share this story this evening before I talk about the bees, about a coworker of mine. So this was when I worked at Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta. So Grady, for anybody who has never heard of this hospital, it is a notorious hospital in Atlanta. It is a city hospital that is an indigent hospital. It is a level 1 trauma center, and you will see things that you will not see in a lot of facilities. And I wanted to work at Grady because I always knew that it was an amazing trauma center. And when you enter the doors of Grady, it's like going into another world. And some of you will be able to attest to that. So I worked as a nurse case manager in the trauma department. So when I began working, I think it was like early 2000s, like, yeah. And there was a nurse who trained me. She was my preceptor. That's what we call preceptors. So she was an amazing woman. She was a little older than me, and she was like a big sister in a sense, like, and she was from the Northeast, and it was neat, being in the South and somebody who, she hung out in Philly, so she knew a lot about Philly. And she was a really sharp woman, just very classic. And she had power that it was like a reserved power, very elegant and regal woman, and very organized. Much like early September, people that are born in the early September month, they are very organized. They keep meticulous, a lot of them like meticulous documents. So she was like this. She had developed like a little training thing that she did for trainees. So this particular position at Grady was compared to being an air traffic controller. That's how busy it was. We were it's hard to describe the position. It had lots of components to it. We had to do things with insurance like pre-authorizations for surgeries. We had to do pre-surgery like exams for certain people. We had to walk the entire facility when you had to do what they call bed czar. So, or czarina. Can you imagine like they had a title like you had to do, we had to share this position, this responsibility, and we called it the bed czar. So the bed czar would walk all around and make sure they were turning over beds. Okay. We would have people that were being harvested in some of the units, harvested for organs. So, we had to coordinate a whole lot. And this nurse, my preceptor, she trained me so well because it was a very difficult position. So I really respected her. So we worked in an office. Our main base was on the first floor of Grady, and we moved all around the hospital as we worked different roles per day. So we knew, it was like a little family, like it is at work. You spend more time with your coworkers. And this preceptor, she was talking about how this particular time she was so excited for her anniversary, her wedding anniversary. And, she was talking about it before, like, the planning that went into this special. She just had a special weekend planned for she and her husband downtown Atlanta. I think they planned to stay at a luxury hotel like the Ritz-Carlton. They were going to go to dinner. They had all like spa. She had this whole thing, and we had heard about it, like we were excited because she would just talk about it a lot. So we knew like, okay, because we worked at night also. So we knew that this, particular night she was off. And I was working, and I think I was bed czarina that night. And it was right around 9ish or 10ish or something. We find in the system, we see her name, my preceptor's name, as like she's in the ER. And somebody like called across the office. They were like, Jennifer, like so-and-so is in the ER. And I was like, what? And, we knew like, what would she be in the ER for? She's like, she's off today, and she's, supposed to be celebrating her wedding anniversary. So it was like, but the thing about what happens when you're not clued into something, you just don't know. You're in the dark about it. I made up a story in my mind, and I said, oh, okay. I knew she had another health issue. Not, it was like hypertension, but not really bad. And I knew that she had taken medicine for it, and sometimes, maybe had a bad headache. So I was like, maybe she had like a hypertensive episode. So I made this up in my mind. So I was like, well, let me go over, make sure she has everything she needs, because when you work in a hospital, if a friend or family ever has to come in, you can do so much to facilitate their experience, and you can push them through the system. Of course, it goes with the territory. Especially when I worked where I worked, I could literally help you like make the biggest difference, because I had the ear of the trauma physicians, of the people that are back behind the scenes that do all kinds of things to make things happen. And I was always moving through the hospital, so I just knew a lot of the people there. So when I realized she was in the ER, I went over and I was like, let me make sure, like I said, she's okay. And in the ER, in the trauma bays, we call them trauma bays, they have it like kind of color coordinated. Like if you were in the red trauma bays, that's more of an emergency. Like that's like major, auto accidents. That's, anything that is level 1 trauma. So that's in those areas. Then we had the blue ER bays. Like if you're coming in for other emergencies that are not like immediately life threatening type of things. So when I went in, I wasn't thinking I was walking into the red trauma bay area. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I thought, oh, maybe we were a little, over whatever, and they put her here. I wasn't even thinking. So I went in and I asked, like, where is she? And I knew like everybody down there. So they looked at me and they were like, they pointed over to this area and the curtains were drawn like, to make it like boxed off. But again, I wasn't clued in at all. So they were like, she's in there. So I opened the curtains and I'm like going in, like calling her name. Hey, hey girl. And I'm walking in and it was really like quiet. Like she was over on a bed, a gurney. And, I was like, what's up? And I call her name, right? There's no response. As I get closer, I witness, and I'm sorry, the heads up for anybody who's sensitive to things. I approached her on the bed and she had long hair, like maybe, this length of hair. And she wore it, in a long hairstyle. Her hair was soaking with blood. Her entire, like, her face was bloody. Her hair was drenched in blood. And when I realized what I was looking at, she was dead. And I dropped to the floor. I just dropped to the floor. It was so overwhelming. And they heard me drop and they rushed in. And I didn't faint all the way. I think I just got woozy and weak. So they pick me up and I'm so shocked. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? And they were like, everybody was just like, they didn't know. They didn't understand that I didn't know. They were like, we thought you were coming to identify her, because they hadn't, like, her husband, he survived. But she was brought in after the dinner she had on her anniversary. Someone from, like, it was some kind of shuttle company, maybe with one of the hotels downtown. It was a shuttle bus. The driver was texting and they T-boned my preceptor's car. They T-boned it on her side. So she had like traumatic arrest. That's when every system in a body is going through like a traumatic arrest and shutting down. And her husband was in a different section. They were caring for him. So I don't think he knew, he didn't know. Absolutely. He did not know that she had perished. So they didn't want to tell him, of course, right then and there, but it was the issue of who is next of kin. And when we, in the office had realized she was there, and I went over because I was, going to make sure she was okay, they thought I was there to identify her again. And it was unbelievable to, tell yourself a story, and then it turns out to be something totally different, totally like just harrowing. And I was just in a state of shock. So I went into a bathroom. I remember I found a bathroom somewhere, and I just sat on the floor of the bathroom, and I was just weeping, and I was trying to get myself together. When I finally got, a little bit of, whatever, I was like, let me get back to the office. So I got back to the office, and of course they thought I was going to continue working and, whatever. And I'm thinking, yo, like, this is one thing you have to understand. They will continue to work you when you work these professions as a caretaker. And they, it is really deep sometimes that, you're just expected to see all of this trauma, experience it all. And they don't really do a lot to care for your, your well-being. It's something you have to take it upon yourself. So after, all of the shock and everything, when it was time for her to be, funeralized, a few of us from the office went to her funeral. And one thing that I'm going to tell you, the management did not go. There was nobody from management at her funeral. And she was an amazing employee. And when I realized, looking at the sparse amount of people that showed up from work, and, we're supposed to be this family. We're always talking about how close we are. And it's like, now it's time to show it for someone who we all loved and respected. Nobody had an issue with her that I knew about. And I'm like, wow, not a lot of people showing up. And again, to have no one from management, it just shows you your worth to these people. So I felt embarrassed, on behalf of our department and Grady, you know what I'm saying? So her service was set up where you could go up and say words, different people, friends and different people. And I just felt like, this is sad that nobody from our department is going to represent and go up. So guess what? I go up and I give some words just to show respect for this amazing woman. And just to, it felt like if I hadn't gone up, and it's like nobody showed up from management, like, sometimes we just have to do these kind of things. So I did my best and just shared some great things, because I didn't have to make up things. She was really a great woman. But I'm saying that to let you know that these professions, like caretaking as a nurse, you have a lot of trauma that is compartmentalized, because it's not normal to witness such horrific things. And just even like, okay, I told you about, somebody came in, they were gored by a bull, and you're thinking, gored by a bull. That's not something you see a lot in a city, inner city like Atlanta. So we had those kind of injuries. And one day a lot of times we'd have to go up to the helicopter bay, because this is level 1 trauma. You get everything from Southeast Georgia that comes into Grady. And one day I had to go up to the helipad to do something. I was going up with the team or whatever. It's a special elevator that you go right up. And it was a Black Hawk helicopter coming in with a military like person. It was like, super, super like secret stuff or whatever. It was just like a Black Hawk helicopter. Are you kidding me? Like, just to witness something like that, where, we're used to the medical helicopters, but to see this Black Hawk land on top of this roof, and then the way that everything was done, you can't even talk about this. Like I said, after work, you're going to just tell your family, guess what? We had a Black Hawk helicopter. They'll be like, okay, sure. You need a vacation. Yes, yes. But it was just that kind of place where you had a range of things happening and a lot of trauma. So the thing that nurses especially are going to begin to process probably some of this stuff if they've left the profession like me, and you start having these memories, you're recalling memories of like, I hadn't even thought about this memory of my preceptor and just what it was like, this shock of accidentally identifying her after she died. Like, that was just, you just get yourself together. I went home early, but you go back to work the next day, business as usual. You're just taking all this trauma and just not dealing with it. Some nurses, they find ways to deal with their trauma, unhealthy habits and things like that. But again, I want to begin more conversations about trauma and just identifying a lot of the traumatic effects that we have, taken on walking in this world and the system, and realizing what we are beginning to realize about the system. So just know that the conversations are going to be different. Like, we want to move forward with some really good conversations about stuff like that. So, just hang on and just know that if you even have like suggestions, I know I talked about back in 2020, there is let me look it up. Bear with me a minute and let me just say hello and welcome to you if you have just joined. Thank you. Juan is saying, I know a few nurses on medication. Yes, a lot of nurses on medication. Hey, Joseph, welcome, welcome. Yeah, the nurses do medicate themselves in different ways. Some medicate themselves with overeating. And a lot of nurses are obese. So you have the overeating, the piling on of calories, especially like when they work night shifts and things like that. Then you have the nurses who pop pills. Let's keep it really honest here. There is a lot of addiction in nursing. And, when I say addiction, I'm talking they are taking strong narcotics, okay, and even injecting themselves. I worked with a nurse she was always offering to medicate your patients. And this was in Atlanta also. This was when I first came out of nursing school. And she was always wearing sweaters, like even, in all weather, she would wear these heavy sweaters. And, I had no idea, what was going on, but she was helping me, new nurse. And I had always had a lot of sickle cell patients and stuff like that. And they, if you know sickle cell patients, they could have an honorary medical degree. They are so intelligent. They know everything about the hospital's medicine more than doctors. And they are really on top of things, like especially their pain relief. They know, they can tell how many hours it's been. So you want to, you want to definitely keep them out of pain. And so you want to be very diligent with getting them medicines. So when you have a few sickle cell patients, it's kind of like it can become all day, all shift. You're medicating them and trying to just stay on top of it. So she would offer to help out. And when I would come in to see how the patient, because I would accept her help sometimes, and when I would come to check and see how did that work, one of the patients told me, they were like, Jennifer, whenever you give me the pain med, I feel relief, but when she gives it to me, I feel nothing. And I was like, oh my God, what? And they had figured out that she was giving them saline, and she was taking the narcotic, the morphine, the Demerol, the Dilaudid. Okay. So when that happened, I'm like, oh my goodness. So it was another nurse, an older nurse, that took me to the side, and she was like, hey, Jennifer, I need to talk to you. And she let me know, she said, I know you accept help. You're, new and people want to help. She said, but that particular nurse, she said, I wouldn't let her medicate my patients if I were you. She said, I'm going to tell you something. You have to promise not to say anything. But she said she is under investigation with the DEA. And I was like, whoa, what? She said, yeah, the DEA, they are on the floor. You will not know who they are. They are just like, you would think they were just working the hospital, but she let me know that they had begun investigating this nurse. So she said, I would just stay clear of her and just don't take her offer of help. So I was like, you only have to tell me that one time. I'm just a new nurse and I don't want no smoke with the DEA. Thank you very much. So she was eventually gripped up, click, click, taken off the floor. Okay. And I wasn't there when things went down, but it was pretty intense. And that just, it's a lot of incidences where nurses come. I work with one nurse. She would come to the job. She would be drunk as a skunk every shift. And you could just smell the alcohol coming off of her skin. She was lit like a Christmas tree, and she would start slurring. I think she was getting down in the bathroom, knocking them back. Maybe it was in her little coffee mug. I don't know what it was, but she would start out okay, and then it would get like, woo, here's the other nurse has just arrived. And she was like wild and crazy and just like, whoa, loud. And it was really sad because all the stress had just made her a person where she didn't even care. She's, just drunk at work. So it is really deep when you start taking care of patients that are nurses also. And that has happened where you're like caring for your own, like, profession. And it is a lot of trauma. So I just, I know that I am still interested in that particular thing, like dealing with, like, I'm processing a lot. Like Girl Code is helping. Like I'm just talking about certain things, even talking about these things right like now. It's amazing to say, like, whoa, it's been so many things that are compartmentalized. And how do you get that stuff up so you can process it and just heal, because you didn't realize you were just carrying trauma, layers of trauma, a lot of us, but I had talked about this in 2020, and it was really, a lot of people appreciated this particular topic, and I will revisit it, but let me look it up. I have so many notes that are in my do you use notes? Because I'm telling you, I use notes and I have so many notes. I could turn all this stuff into a book. But I want to give you, I have to really scroll down. I should have done this already, sorry. But it is the name of a particular type of it's coined as healing, like recovery from PTSD. So just bear with me as I look up if you know the term, please drop it in the chatmosphere. Please, please. Let's see. That usually I could find it pretty easy. I have added so many notes since, but wait a minute. That folder, let me go to all iCloud. Does anybody know the name of that system? It's like a particular, wait a minute. Let me just try this one more time, looking at some old notes. Bear with me, people. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Talk among yourselves, please. Oh, here it is. That didn't take too long. All right. So this is one particular thing that I'll talk about at another time. But if you remember in 2020, my old channel, I did a live stream on EMDR. EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. EMDR. Okay, so this is something that has been identified to help people cope with trauma. So I will talk about that at another time as we begin to have open up more conversations about this, because I know a lot of us have these similar things, especially if you have a caretaker, you are a caretaker, you may want to share this. Please share things as you want. And as I appreciate, if you do share the information with others as, you think it would help. So I want to now talk about bees, because Girl Code mentioned bees and their connection to nurses. And, amazing. I wrote down some notes, as I do often when I'm talking to you, Girl Code. I'm always writing things. So speaking of a nursing and a bee connection, I'll never forget this particular thing. When I was actually helping to train a nursing student. So, sometimes you get nursing students when you work in teaching facilities, and, you'll get a group of nursing students or one nursing student. So you're helping them. Well, I had one nursing student working with me this particular day, and I have taken care of some pretty gnarly wounds. So if you're a nurse and you have taken care of wounds and you have seen the most gnarly things, raise your hand, because I have. And it almost got to a point where I wanted to specialize in wound care. And it started because my grandmother, I told you, was injured by one of the Japanese, and she developed polio. And then because of all the stuff they were giving her, she developed a lot of other issues, one being diabetes. She had a form of diabetes, and she would injure herself in just simple ways, and then a wound would just start to rage on her legs especially. And I learned how to care for her wounds, and I learned how to do bandages as a little girl. I was 6 years old doing these things. And I would also take care, she had all kinds of like psoriasis and things. And I would put all these salves. She would get these expensive things. She would go to a compounding pharmacy, maybe somewhere in Jersey or Delaware. We're driving all over. And she was always finding out like the best things. Like there were things you could put on, like if you had issues with psoriasis, not always getting the pharmaceutical things, but you could get things that have tar in it. But anyway, just to say that I learned how to take care of wounds with that. So wounds that I don't want to get into the details, but they can be pretty like horrific. And one young man, he had these wounds everywhere that it happens with certain people. They're like sweat glands and things. Just it's a long story, but he just had wounds all over his just kind of pelvic and buttocks area. And like I would just go and do all of his care. And I had the student with me. And when I took those bandages and packing, because you have to pack wounds like that. So I was taking the packing and different things, doing a wound change. And the nurse, when I took all the packing out, this young student nurse, she fell over like she had never taken physical education. She just fell over like a tree. And I was like, it was so loud the way she fell. So I'm in the middle of now taking care of the patient, but now I'm taking care of this nursing student. And it was crazy. I had to kind of like call a code, and everybody ran in and helped her out. And then after everything was all calmed down, we would do a one-on-one debrief. And I had to tell sis, I had to say, look, sis, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but I don't think this is going to work out, this nursing thing. I don't think you're cut out for this kind of thing. And, I've never told anybody that, but I just need to tell you that. And she took my advice and dropped on out of nursing school because, she wasn't going to get too far with having that reaction to a wound. Okay. So just know, not everybody is cut out for this kind of thing. And that doesn't mean anybody is better than anybody. But again, some people could just take a lot of trauma and shock and stuff, but it's not that. I don't know. Okay. I don't know why some people can. What is it? You can share with me what you think. Do you have any theories? So yeah, I have seen a lot. Odinga's here. Oh my goodness. Welcome, Odinga. You're back. Mercedes is here in the chatmosphere. Welcome, Mercedes. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so I'm talking about bees now. We're going to shift over to bees because, of course, a lot is going on with bees. And the whole aspect of they are healers. They are nurses. They're referred to and connected to nursing in an interesting way. We'll get into it more at another time. So right now, when it comes to the bees, we have a problem because there is somebody who let me stop the screen and share this with you. Somebody thought it was a great idea to do this when it comes to bees. All right, let me get to that. Okay. I happen to love this site here. It's called Modern Farmer. I've shared this with you all before, Modern Farmer. All right, Modern Farmer dated today. First vaccine for honeybees approved by USDA. That is the United States Department of Agriculture. So the federal agency is a buzz. Real cute, right? with the conditional vaccine approval, the first of its kind for an insect. The United States Department of Agriculture has given conditional approval to a vaccine for honeybees, the first such vaccine intended for insects. The vaccine is intended to help honeybees, one species of pollinators at risk of extinction, facing habitat loss and other threats. Fight back against American foul brood, a destructive and deadly disease that can wipe out entire bee colonies. American foul brood spreads through spores and kills bees when they're still in a pupal stage, essentially eliminating the bee larvae, turning it dark brown and rotten. Let me just stop for a moment and see reactions. Yep. Yeah. Yep, Kathy. Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, right, right, Karen? Okay. Uh-huh. Yes, Mish. Straight up evil. Yes, Patrice. What in the actual F? What in the actual F? The guru is here. Hey, the guru, welcome, welcome. Thanks for hanging out. So, yeah, what the heck is going on right now? Yeah, the guru. Okay, so I'm not tripping. You find an issue there. Okay, so but this new vaccine works by cutting off the spores at the source. Rather than injecting the bees with minuscule syringes, the vaccine is fed to the bees and ultimately made into a sugar substance, irresistible to bees, royal jelly, like bee candy. Beekeepers would mix the vaccine into food fed to the worker bees, who then secrete royal jelly for their queen to feast on. Once the queen has ingested the vaccine, it will spread to her ovaries, where developing bee larvae or larva will be exposed to the vaccine, and they will be born with immunity to the disease. The vaccine comes from a partnership between Dalan Animal Health and the University of Georgia's College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. People don't understand how hard it is to keep bees alive, said Keith Delaplane, professor of entomology and director of the UGA bee program. In a statement, I can't imagine a more frightening branch of agriculture to be in. It takes ceaseless attention. Oh, does it, Keith? Keith is here in Georgia. Isn't that amazing? I didn't know we had a bee program. Okay, Keith. So you are in a partnership with a pharmaceutical company working on a vaccine for honeybees. I see nothing wrong with that, people. It sounds perfectly normal, doesn't it? Yes, it sounds perfectly normal. Nothing to see here, as they say. All right. So Once it's widely released, the vaccine could be a lifesaver, literally for beekeepers who presently have to rely on antibiotic treatments with limited success. Trevor Towser, owner of Towser Apiaries and a board member with the California State Beekeepers Association, said in a statement that such a vaccine would prevent other treatments, such as burning entire infected colonies, as well as all equipment used in their handling. If we can prevent an infection in our hives, we can avoid costly treatments and focus our energy on other important elements of keeping our bees healthy. The vaccine currently has conditional approval for 2 years. Dalan plans to release the vaccine to a small number of commercial beekeepers over the 2023 season. From there, Delaplane hopes to move from bacterial diseases such as American foul brood to viral infections, which are tougher to vaccinate against. It is trickier to create inherited immunity with viruses. Yet, viruses are front and center in all literature about bee health problems, he said in a statement. They have proven to be an intractable problem. My hope is that this partnership can lead to a viral vaccine. All righty. So, what are you thinking, Mish? Yeah, this is sick. Yes, foul brood, you have to burn the whole hive, Lori says. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, right. That's how I bet that's what they're saying, right? That's right, Molly. It's time to get the spoon. It has been overtime. So I am, is Wild Dragon here? What's up? 420 and Darkitect, welcome. Tell me about these bees. I don't know these bees. I don't know about these bees. But hey, IG, welcome, welcome. Hey, Joyce. So, okay, when it comes to bees, it's a lot to dissect there. But the thing about the bees is they pollinate. As you know, we can get a little refresher. The bees are pollinators, and from what I recall, they pollinate about over 60 or 70% of the food that's farmed. The pollinating of bees, the what they do for just produce and everything, right? So I know there are other pollinators, but the bees are powerful pollinators. And besides producing honey, which, some people have a problem with humans taking the honey. I used to work with somebody who was such a vegan that they did not believe in even eating honey. So I don't know how you all feel about honey. I really love honey. And I love bees, as you all know, all the time with the bee earrings, right? Always with the bees all the time. And even with taking care of wounds, like I said, they started to have wound care that has manuka honey. So if you're familiar with manuka honey is derived from Australia, and it's powerful when it comes to wound healing. And other things about honey, that honey doesn't ever go bad. You can have honey for thousands of years and it does not go bad. So it is a powerful medicine from God. And now I am very concerned again because I was concerned back in, I guess it was the mid 2000s. um, I had come across information, as you may have, about the bees and colony collapse syndrome. Where you do you remember when the honey bees were just, they disappeared for a while, where people were reporting that the beekeepers would come out to their hives and all of the bees would just vanish. They vanished like into thin air. And they were saying that even they didn't see any remnants of bees that fell to the ground or the floor of the hive. They did not understand where the bees went. And it was something they were always talking about in the media, called colony collapse disorder. And now I'm starting to I want to go back now, because at that time I believed the narrative. So I was watching mainstream news outlets and CNN 24 hours a day, and I was believing everything that was being said. So now I want to see what is going on, because now this is coming up again about the bees. At the time when they were talking about the colony collapse disorder, I had noticed that Haagen Dazs, do you remember when Haagen Dazs ice cream, they had a special campaign that was called Save the Bees. It was like a vanilla ice cream, a vanilla honey ice cream. And they had a website in which they were teaching all about bees. And it was really amazing. What I did was I did this special program for the children that I was taking care of at the hospital. I worked at a facility that had teens and children. It was an inner city hospital. So the children, this was like, behavioral health and everything. So these were some tough kids, and I wanted to do something different with them. So I bought all of this ice cream. I bought all the honey. They had other flavors besides vanilla with the honey, and they had this cool little thing on their website where you could create yourself to look like a honeybee, and they had all these different body shapes, and it was really cute. So I let all the kids pick out their body shape. And then I printed them all off and put them all around on the walls, and I did a presentation and talked about colony collapse disorder, and I told them about how important bees were. And before I did this program, a lot of people were like, "Oh, please, they're going to hate this. They're not going to like hearing about this. Why do you want to do this, Jennifer?" And I was like, I believe that they would like it. And guess what? They loved it. And it was just like fun that they could eat ice cream after that. And I was like, this is all, because they never thought about how bees really provide for us. So it was powerful. And I'm talking kids that were like tough, wanted to fight all the time. They were listening and getting engaged with the conversation. So it was very encouraging to know that young people, would engage with this. Young people that usually people write off. So I want to just, again, share with you that don't give up on our young people. We have to find creative ways to engage with them, especially things that we want to encourage, because I really want to see young people enter into agriculture and learning different things instead of this failed attempt to encourage everybody to go to college and get themselves into horrific debt. And just, we can do things differently. College is just not for everybody. So I went and looked up Haagen-Dazs and just wanted to see what's going on. Are they still engaged with helping to save the bees? But that was the name of that campaign. So I don't know at the time, did they have this connection to Nestle? Because it looks like Nestle bought Haagen-Dazs. Did you all know that? I didn't know. So Nestle here, which is funny, I have a really good friend that is a big shot over at Nestle. I need to look her up and ask, what are you guys doing with the bees over there? What's going on? So this is from 2017. Haagen-Dazs helps bees thrive with pollinator habitats. So they're doing this stuff over in California for the almond farms. So they have a bee-friendly hedgerow. And you can see they are, because Central California is amazing, that what grows in that area, like walnuts and almonds and everything. It's like heaven over there in Central Cali. So they are doing things to, let's see, this is the Haagen-Dazs Loves Honeybees program, launched in 2008, and today is expanding from research and education funding to hands-on initiatives to rejuvenate pollinator habitats to allow native bees to flourish. So they are growing native drought-tolerant shrubs, and that is helping with these hedgerows. And they worked with expert agronomists and the Xerces Society to maximize the impact of the habitat by choosing regional plants that are attractive to pollinators. And there is this now, this Xerces Society. Has anybody ever heard of Xerces Society? Let me see. Anybody? Oh, Nancy, what are you saying about bees? Nancy is saying, my husband repaired the front pillars of a local church that was full of bees. Honey was running out of the columns. So cool. The bees were rescued. What a great story. And yeah, that wild honey is powerful when you find it like that. And it's amazing. Wow, look at that. I love it. So they the Xerces, have you ever heard of the Xerces found, what is it called? Let me look at that again. Xerces Society. Okay, so this t-shirt that I'm wearing, let me show you. This t-shirt is from the Xerces. It was from J. Crew. So I purchased this like back in, like, I can't believe I still have this t-shirt, like, because I've washed it so much that it's still there. You can still see the bees, the honeybees. And they had this as a special, that when you buy the shirt, it went to the Xerces Society. And I looked up the Xerces Society today. All right. So let me share my screen. I want to show you the Xerces Society. And I want to ask your opinion about something. Okay. I need your opinion again. All right. Where is the Xerces? There it is. Okay. It is. Anybody? Let me see. What are you all saying in the chatmosphere? What's up? How's it going? Healing the healers. We have to heal the healers. And these little bees are connected to nurses. It's amazing. And you know, the next drop that Girl Code gives us, it's going to be powerful. All right, so the Xerxes Society for Invertebrate Conservation. And you can see these ladies look like they are planting lots of good, beautiful bees. The pollinators, they love beauty. I'm sure they were born in the later part of September, a lot of them. I don't know, right? I'm only kidding. Okay, so here is the Xerxes Society for Invertebrate Conservation is an international nonprofit organization that protects the natural world through the conservation of invertebrates and their habitats. As a science based organization, we both conduct our own research and rely upon the most up to date information to guide our conservation work. Our key program areas are pollinator conservation, endangered species conservation, and reducing pesticide use and impacts. Okay, so this is some of the stuff that they do. All right, and I called them today. Let me play my message I left for them. And they texted me back. Isn't that nice? So hold on while I play my message to the Xerxes Society. Again, I want you to realize I'm wearing a t-shirt that has in the labeling the Xerxes Society. That's how I got the idea to look them up, because it was in my t-shirt. I don't want to take it off and show you, but I could show you the little label. Okay, hang on as I am going to play the message that I left. Let me turn up the volume so you can hear me. I had music playing in the background. I hope it doesn't affect you.
Thank you for contacting the Pollinator Program. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message after the tone. You can also contact our team by emailing pollinators@xerces.org. That's pollinators@xerces.org. Thank you. When you finish recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Washington, and I was interested in learning about your efforts to protect the pollinators from vaccinations. I recently learned that there is a plan to vaccinate the honeybees. So I would like to get involved, and if you could please give me a call back at... Okay. Let me know, were you able to hear me? I think I put maybe a little too much emphasis when I said vaccination. All right, so listen to this. I got a text back from them. And can I read it? And this is where I need your help. I tend to jump to conclusions, so that's why I'm asking you to help me, okay? All right, so here it is. The text that I received. Hi, Jennifer. Hi. I don't know your name, but hi, Xerxes Society. Thank you for reaching out to the Xerxes Society. Our mission is to conserve native invertebrates. So we do not directly research or work with honeybees, as they are a species managed for agriculture here and are not native to North America. I would recommend reaching out to your local beekeeping association. And I wrote back, "Good evening, and thanks for responding. I'll take your recommendation. Have a wonderful evening." Okay, give me your thoughts because I think I'm jumping to conclusions. Can I get thoughts? Hey, Chris, what are you thinking? Tell me what what is going on. I kind of feel a little bit like, what? Okay, was it the way I pronounced? Okay, let's listen to my call one more time. Do you need to listen to the call one more time? One more time. Wait a minute. Tell me, what did I do?
Thank you for contacting the pollinator program. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message after the tone. You can also contact our team by emailing pollinators@xerces.org. That's pollinators@xerces.org. Thank you. When you finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Washington, and I was interested in learning about your efforts to protect the pollinators from vaccinations. I recently learned that there is a plan to vaccinate the honeybees. So I would like to get involved, and if you could please give me a call back at. Okay. Was it something I said? Chris, right? Thank you. Something doesn't smell right. I'm going to have to contact them again. Okay. Yes, Mercedes, did I put too much pronunciation in it? Was that, I said it twice. I didn't realize I said vaccinations to the honeybees. I need to help. What is going on? And did I get the bum's rush? Because that's what the text feels like. Like they just, pushed me to the side there. Why I'm wearing the Xerces Society t-shirt with honeybees all in throughout this whole situation. Do you see what I'm saying? Let me see. Can I show you this right here? Okay, look. Can I this label right here, if you could see, it says the Xerces Society inside, and it's J. Crew. It says Xerces. These are honeybees all over the t-shirt. What? If this is new, that the Modern Farmer article, they approve vaccinations for the honeybees. So the Xerces Society said that they are helping the pollinators, honeybees, but in this text they said their mission is to conserve native invertebrates. So we do not directly research or work with honeybees, as they are a species managed for agriculture here and are not native to North America. I'm a little bit like, I don't know, they dismissed me. IG, okay, so I'm not tripping. They just gave me, they ghosted me, as they say. They ghosted me. They said, go to your local beekeeping association, which I have no problem. I have a friend of a friend. here that is a beekeeper. So I'm going to be hitting them up. Okay. I'm going to be hitting up my friend that works for Nestle. Okay. And I'm going to be like, girlfriend, what are you doing over there at Nestle? Are we doing enough to help the bees? It's just so many things to do, isn't it? We got to help the bees too. Do you have a few minutes? Everybody have a few minutes to add on to everything else you're doing? We need to care about the bees. Okay. So I am just saying. They brushed me off, Victoria. Okay, so why do you think, if you think of it later, put it in the chat, like put it in the comments, because I want to know, what was that all about? I was a little confused. So I'm going to contact them tomorrow. I think I'm going to do another follow-up, and I'm going to say, hey, can you like clarify some things? They probably are going to block me, but I'll try from another number. No, I'm kidding. But I'm just going to say, like, I might not have understood. Can you clarify what your mission is? And can you tell me, like, do you think it sounds good to give bees vaccines, jungle juice for the, Jonestown jungle juice to the bees? Is that okay? What? And they said that I don't have any ideas right now. I think that it just the clown show just keeps clowning, and I'm just, what is this, everybody? What's going on? The bees they basically pollinate almost all of our food. And I'm thinking this is urgent. Colony collapse disorder. Now they have this thing called, what is the disease called, you guys, that you hear? Wait, let me go back to Modern Farmer. It's called, and somebody knows this thing, it's called American foul brood. American foul brood. So I'm just saying, it seems the timing is very suspect. And they say they're trying to, you know how that article read, like, it's so hard, we're trying to keep bees alive. I want to say, Bish, what are you talking about? You're trying to keep bees alive. God keeps bees alive. Like, do you see, like, they don't need us. The bees don't need us. They just need us to leave them alone. Just work like a symbiotic thing. We provide whatever, like beauty. Like I want to get into the beekeeping thing. I want to do a little beekeeping, everyone. You know how I am. I ultimately will become more like just smoothly get into more self-sustainability. Okay. I want to have the things, right? The Amish Quaker kind of things. Being in the world, but not of the world, right? My dreams, to have a fiber farm and have hemp and all kinds of mushrooms and everything growing, a medicinal farm, but definitely fiber. My Paco vicuñas. I want to have the beautiful Paco vicuñas and learn how to process the fibers and everything, right? Lots of things. And by the way, we're in a new year, and I still put the offer out for you all. If you want to schedule time, like some of you have, just circling back to you. If you want to set up some time and chat, you just do that. Guess what? Josephine, if I can show you, she has a special collar on tonight, and we both have bee pins. Okay. Do you want to see Josephine? If she doesn't scream her head off, but she's been wearing her little neck jewels, whatever, collars. I don't know. Collar just sounds bad. Oh, here she is. Maybe we can have a peaceful Josephine. I want you to see elegant Josephine in her collar. What do you all think? Look at that. Am I a crazy cat lady? Crazy, crazy, right? Look at Josephine. She loves her collar and she's representing for the bees tonight, okay? She wants them to stop the madness. We want them to stop the madness, right, Josie? And leave the bees alone, right? Yes. So Josephine she is putting in her pleadings, okay? But anyway, I just wanted to talk, just opening up conversations that we'll be having more of them, okay? Right, girl code? Chris said she's pissed. Are you pissed? Are you okay? Is this embarrassing? I think she knows I'm crazy. She's okay, right? I thought I heard her growling. No, she just breathes hard. I think Josephine had some kind of issues as a kitten and she just has a little wheezing. I should have named her Wheezy. Wheezy. But anyway, Wheezy here, she had some little issues. She's from Savannah, Georgia, if you all don't know. And her adoption versary is coming up in February. Yep. I met her in 2020. They were about to close down the Savannah Humane Society, and she would have been a goner. Sorry, they told me to stop telling her. My daughter says stop telling her that she was going to be a goner. She said, "Don't tell her that." I'm sorry. I will stop saying that. Okay, bringing up the bad past. But yeah, she's coming up on her 3-year her adoptiversary, right? So yeah, what else is going on? I want to talk about a few things, but I know my live streams have been so long, right? You guys are probably like, get off of this live stream, crazy lady, crazy cat lady. So what's going on? Can you believe she's walking around? I put it on her. I said, Josephine, don't you want to wear the collar that I made for you? Like, and she let me put it on, and she has her bee pin, and she's been walking around and she likes it. It's like she likes it. So we'll see. I used to dress my cats when I was a kid. It just never went away. I'm still a kid. I always had cats though. Were you like that? My mom always showed like she taught me how to take care of animals and care, loving all of God's creation. And ever since I was a little girl, I had cats. As a little baby, I had 2 Siamese cats. So, and you can see me, I have a picture. I'm holding both of the cats by their necks and I'm standing by the Christmas tree. Like, I don't know, like that was okay. They were little kittens and I'm just holding them. It looks like I'm holding them by the neck though. They were okay, everybody. No one was hurt. But yeah, so I love you too, Mercedes. I had to get, Josephine to show how she's enjoying being dressed up today. Let's see, Chris, what are you saying? Did she dig her claws? No, I actually gave her, she let me cut her claws today because they were getting too long. I don't do it often, but she gets stuck in things, when they're doing things and she's kind of like stuck. And I'm like, look, sis, got to cut them because they were like Cardi B. She's Kitty B with these nails. Like they had to be cut. So she put up with it. She didn't have any fussing when I cut her nails, her Cardi B nails. Hey, laughs a lot. I like that name. You said laughter is good, man. It is. I was talking to Girl Code about that very thing. I was saying, listen, Girl Code, I have to get a daily dose of Salty Cracker and Paul Romano. It is something about those two. Every day I have to get a nice chuckle. And it's just like, it is such good medicine. So, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I hope you get lots of good laughs in Clown World. Hey, Girl Code is saying, Sissy, you probably. I haven't gone that far. I know people that put the plastic stuff on their. I had a friend that would do that. He would put it on his cat's nails. Yes, re. I have to get a daily re, and laughter is everything. It is. I know. Salty is a doggone genius. Okay, he, like I tell people, look, they are doing such a great service, in my humble opinion, because the evil people, as they get more disengaged from reality, they are just delving into absurdity that is like ironic and everything. It's just tragic comedy, and they cannot accept being mocked, and evil needs to be mocked. So by their like comedy, the way they mock the evil aspects of society, it helps to break down narratives, and it's helpful. So just, I find what they're doing to be a great service to humanity, actually. And this is not hyperbole. I am serious, okay? So yes, that's exactly. And Joseph is creating music, beautiful lyrics, powerful stuff you're doing, Joseph. If you all don't follow Joseph's music, he has a YouTube channel and IG where he shares a lot of his music, his own creation, and it's all conscious music, beautiful music. I've been wanting him to come and serenade us, which he will in this new year, right, Joseph? But you say satire and humor are kryptonite to the parasites. That's right. That's right. It is. So we like to laugh. So yeah, that's just little something I want to come and talk to you about. And I will, check back in. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, possibly, just might be. But again, hit me up on IG, Facebook, whatever. If you want to get together, let's talk. Let's catch up, right? Let's catch up. If you want to talk about some things, we can talk about how to protect yourself in these times. If you have people that are going through tumultuous things, with the companies downsizing, and people need to protect their money and look out for themselves. So these are the kind of conversations we can have, okay? And I have some good resources that you could, consider. Good. I will keep in touch. And what are you saying, Jamie? They want to. Who are you talking about? Are you talking in the chatmosphere, Jamie? Let me know, like, what's going on? What? But yes, I will see you soon. And have a good one. What else did I want to share? That was it. Again, if there's anything you need to say, share, whatever, drop it on into the comments, and I'll get around and I'll see them. Or if you hit me up behind the scenes, like Facebook or Instagram, I go by Jennifer Easton, and I'm on Twitter too. You can find me on Twitter, Jennifer Easton, Washington. And they have, actually, on Twitter, they have a messaging thing too that, I'll check it. I'll hopefully see it. Yeah, they give you notifications. So I'm getting back into the Twittering. It's how to get back into. Mary, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. I thank you for all the love. And again, some of you, listen, I appreciate all the sweet tips and things. If you want to do it this way, this is another way. If you wish to do tips, you can do it there too. Oh my goodness. And another super sticker, Mary, thank you. Oh, that is so sweet. I appreciate you. Buenas noches to you, Mercedes, beautiful Mercedes. And yes, what is Girl Code saying? When Christ showed himself to the Magi is interesting, family. I am looking forward to Girl Code's next drop. Everybody get on over to Girl Codes and check out the one on the magic mushrooms. She breaks down some powerful things. Blessings to you, Nancy. Thank you. If I didn't catch up with you, that's right. January 6th was the Epiphany, and we are getting constant epiphanies right now, right? Girl Code, tons of them. Aurora, thank you. Good night. Blessings to you. And again, I'll get over to see you in the comments. And if I didn't get to your comment, please forgive me. I didn't want to do another 3-hour live, but I will come back and hang out again. We'll talk about some more things. Sentinella's here. Hey there. Welcome from Spain. It feels good to wake up 5 hours. Oh, it's 5:40 here, and to see. Oh, thank you, Sentinel. Thank you for your work and the good times you get. Oh, I appreciate that, Sentinel. Blessings to you over in Spain. Let's give Sentinel some love. We love it when you come by and see us. IG, thank you, night, and high vibes. That's right. Okay. I will chat with you on the other side on another live stream, okay? Alrighty, take care.